He doesn't want to debate her, Scott.
Well, first of all, as the only bona fide chicken farmer at this table,
That's why I came to you
I am
first.
offended. I am offended by this. He does want to debate her. He's going to debate her. In fact, he wanted to do like 3 debates, and she agreed to this one. And he agreed to the rules against Biden. And now she wants to change the rules, even though these were the rules they used against Biden.
Shouldn't he be happy that the rules would be that he can say whatever he wants? Like, I mean, if he really wants to debate her, that would be what he would want.
I don't know. They're going to debate. He needs to debate because he's going to have to hold her to account for her record as vice president, her positions when she ran for president, her record in the Senate, because no one else is going to help him. And the idea that they're calling him chicken when she won't answer a single question, a hard question from a journalist right now, is a little rich to me. So, but I think they'll do it, and I think they both have reason to need to show up. They both have something to prove.
I mean, I think he's just getting a taste of his own medicine. For the last 8 years or so, Donald Trump has mocked, baited, said nasty things, even most recently as this week. And the Harris campaign is just poking at him, poking the bear and seeing what Donald Trump will show up. Will he debate I mean, I know you feel confident about this. The American people deserve a debate, but I am not sure. Look, why not let the mic stay on? Do you think your candidate can remain disciplined enough? The last debate definitely went in Trump's favor in the immediate. Joe Biden had a terrible performance, which is why now Kamala Harris is at the top of the ticket. I don't think he's going to have another hit like that. And so that's why he's hedging his bets right now.
Yeah, I mean, Harris, look, she doesn't even really have to do anything here because Trump is the one who keeps kind of hemming and hawing about this, giving her the upper hand. And to Scott's point, I mean, the storyline could be about how she hasn't done an interview. We're 5 days away from the end of the month. It's supposed to happen within those 5 days. It hasn't yet, but instead Trump is putting on the table that he's, I don't know, scared, that he doesn't want to do it, that he only wants to do it under circumstances that are favorable to him.
We know a lot of times this is just posturing. We have different people, different campaigns. They're playing the expectations game. They're just trying to have an angle for what they want. I fully agree with Scott here. We're going to see a debate. There's no question about that. The stakes are, of course, very high. The last time President Trump walked onto the debate stage, it was arguably the most consequential presidential debate we've seen, maybe even more so than Nixon versus Kennedy back in 1960. So I'm fully confident there will be a debate, and it's going to be must-see TV.
The funny thing about this debate about debate rules is if you don't adhere to the rules, nothing happens. nobody ever comes out and goes, away.
There are no penalty boxes.
This thing is over now. You just broke the thing. So, I mean, I've been through this a million times.
Which usually, works in Trump's favor because he kind of rolls through these rules, and then it all just ends up with him
one
talking
thing about
more
Trump
than
is
everybody else.
You can prepare for any scenario. And Harris is going to be very prepared. She's going to be very calm. She's going to prosecute him. And it's going to be a very clear debate for her. I think when you go into debates, it's really important to have very specific goals. You want to accomplish, maybe 3 things at most, maybe 4. And that could be anything from prove that you're likable to unveiling new policy to showing that you're tough on foreign policy or something. Harris is a very focused person. This will be a comfortable environment for her. So I think they're having a ball over there.
She wants to she wants to recreate all of these moments of Trump on the debate stage.
Look, it's just not true, and so please go.
You didn't delete him?
Allow her to respond, please.
Personal emails, not official.
33,000?
Well, we turned over 35,000, so it was.
What about the other 15,000?
Please allow her to respond. She didn't talk while you talked.
Yes, that's true. I didn't.
Because you have nothing to say.
Excuse me. I got rid of the individual mandate, which was a big chunk of Obama. That is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst part of Obamacare.
Sir,
Chris, that was the worst part of Obama.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask Joe. The individual mandate was the most unpopular aspect of Obamacare. I got rid of it. And we will protect people.
The question is,
Justice, radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe? Who's on your list?
Gentlemen, I think
this
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the court.
We have
not going to give a list.
Look, he's got one mission at this thing.
It's
one mission
not that.
Well, no, the first debate against Biden was a disaster. He actually got better in the second when they didn't have the middle one. The last one they did, he was somewhat better. But it was too late at that point. This one, he's got one mission. He cannot let her get away with running as something other than the incumbent. She is Joe Biden's vice president. The entire mission of this debate is to ask the American people a simple question. If you are mad about what is going on in this country, and you're mad about inflation, and you're mad about the border, how could you possibly keep the same administration in place that you think has broken it? Now, it's boring because you need to do that for 90 straight minutes, and sometimes he gets bored with the same thing for 90 straight minutes. But if he achieves that, that's the mission, right? That's what he's got to do.
Here's the thing. I think that everyone is saying, oh, we want the vice president to do an interview. Oh, there's a lot of demands on Kamala Harris right now in terms of policy, and I think she has laid out the policy. In the debate...
Which?
In the debate, Kamala Harris has the opportunity to draw the contrast. It's not like Donald Trump has rolled out a miles length of policy other than we don't want this, we hate this, we don't like this, we want to take this back, we want to take this away from the American folk. He's not telling you how he's going to bring inflation down. He's not telling you if we had another global pandemic, how he would lead better. He's not saying why he doesn't have his current former vice president on the stage in a couple of weeks because he charged the insurrection. Kamala Harris has a great opportunity to draw the contrast. And while so many people are making demands on her, she can say, what are the demands you have of him? And when they go toe to toe, I think the American people will align with her.
You know, I think the way Trump is going into this mentally is a disaster for him. And I think his campaign knows it. He's going to he doesn't respect the vice president. And that's going to come across.
Yeah, he called her dumb several times today.
He has a problem with women. He has a real problem with black women in power. And this is going to come across. I think this is going to be a very bad night for Trump. I don't think it's going to be about policy or anything. I think it's just going to be about what vibe you get from these two people.
The demeanor.
You can't coach this guy. He's like an athlete who's uncoachable.
Well, he said, okay, I got to play this for you, Stuart, because this is what he told reporters today.
I'm not spending a lot of time on it. I think my whole life I've been preparing for a debate. You know, you can go in and you can have all sorts of sessions. I watched Mitt Romney go in and he worked so hard. 4 weeks he locked himself into a log cabin and then he developed lockjaw. He couldn't speak. You have to be real.
Well, wait, the first debate we were good.
Scott and I were there.
Scott and I were at those. We were good.
Scott and I were at those debates. They were actually
the lockjaw part was the part I was like, wait, what?
There's always this need to try to make sense of what Trump is saying, like it may be part of some strategy. Otherwise, he just kind of comes across as a blithering idiot, when the truth is he's just sort of a blithering idiot. And he says this stuff, it has no meaning, it has no focus to it. And he's an angry guy. He thought he had won. And I've seen this, Scott, you've seen it too in campaigns. When a candidate thinks they've won and something happens and that gets taken away, that is a really rough emotional moment. And it takes a lot of maturity to deal with that, if you can.
And he is living through that very publicly right now, where he felt that week. I mean, we were right on the set with each other, Scott. You felt that the campaign was locked up.
Yeah. Oh, we were on our way to a landslide. I mean, the
different.
Republicans were going to have a landslide. Any Democrat will tell you that's what they were mentally preparing for. And so everybody believed that. He believed it. By the way, he's still also, I think, living through...
I don't agree with that, but anyway.
You don't think we were going to have a landslide against Biden?
No, I think that Trump...
Then why don't they still have him, Stuart?
Wait, I guess regardless of whether or not...
Because he had a terrible debate, and he's too old to be president.
Here's the test of leadership.
But look, I think Trump has a ceiling. He's never broken 47%. He won with 46.2%. We lost with Romney when Romney got 47.2%. And he lost by 7 million votes. I just don't see where he's getting new customers.
Here's the thing about leaders, is that you have to be able to be nimble and adjust. He can't even adjust to a different opponent. He thought it was going to be Joe Biden. It's not Joe Biden. And he can't adjust to Kamala Harris, and we want him to have the nuclear codes. Like, either you're a leader or you're up to it or you're not. No,
you're acting like this is a common occurrence for parties to switch out their nominees in the summer. I mean, this is a totally unheard of audacious thing the
So
Democrats
was
have done.
COVID. But you know what? You got to learn how to roll with the punches if you want to be the leader of the free world. If you can't handle a change of candidate, I surely don't want you handling my country.
What do they think in Georgia? I think we're winning. I think he's doing fine in Georgia. And I think people are still okay with his presidency versus what they're getting out of Biden. Are they not?
Well, and that's the thing. It's a very unique opportunity voters have. Normally, when we have an election cycle, you have to look at what the candidate is saying and try to guess the impact their policies will have on your life. But now voters can go, okay, was my life better under President Trump when I could get $2 gas at the pump? Or is it better now? And in Georgia, where I'm from, we're seeing inflation is sky high. It is really hurting people. Their everyday lives are being impacted in a negative way by the Biden-Harris administration, and that's what they're going to be voting on when they go to the polls.
This is the argument he's got. This is what he's got to stick with. I mean, this is like when I was in, we had this. Well, they're in, you have
and
that.
And then a global pandemic happened. I botched the handling of it for a year. I kept.
How did he botch it?
Bleach in arms.
Did he or did he not leave?
Scott, you're not going to defend. You're not.
No, I'm asking.
Scott, you don't have to do this.
Did
you don't
he or
have
did
to
he
do
not
this.
leave Joe Biden the vaccine, which Kamala Harris claims she wouldn't take as long as Donald Trump developed it?
He told us to put bleach in arms. He told us that it wasn't real. He told us Fauci was a fraud. He told us not to wear a mask.
That's
he told
debatable
us,
now.
I mean, he told us if Donald Trump would have been the president longer, we would have probably had more than, sadly, a million people lose lives. He botched that.
Don't you think? I mean, I think this is pretty self-evident.